three porn stars, some of the worst special effects ever put on film, and a music video that challenges fruit on my belly for the world's worst. We watched Bloody Mary 3D. We watched it so you don't have to, so you know what that means.
Horror, so bad it's scary. Splitting up is never okay. Plot, who needs it? Don't turn on the lights. Cars don't ever start, but that's alright. Running upstairs instead of out the door. Good acting, what do we need that for? Horrible horror, so bad it's scary. Enjoy the show.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Horrible Horror, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies so bad they're scary. We have a doozy for you today. I'm your host, Marshall Hampton. Joined with me, as always, is my co-host, best friend, and after today, probably liver-damaged best friend, Mr. Aaron Southworth.
You son of a bitch. Okay, everyone, listen. That is the sound of my first beer opening because I have to drink copious amounts to try and just scrub my brain free of this horrible, horrible, awful, shitty, disastrous film that we watched.
Yeah.
Good. Googly moogly.
Yeah, we took on Bloody Mary 3D this week.
3D.
But I do want to say, before we get into the movie, I do want to send a very special, belated, so I apologize for the lateness of this, shout out to Deanna Robinson, who sent us email through our website regarding the Houses That October Built episode. So I wanted to just shout out to her, say thank you for your feedback. We really appreciate it. Keep them coming. Hope you continue listening, and we love it. So thank you so much, Deanna Robinson from Texas.
Yes, and thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody else has got some comments, concerns, something angry, something fun, whatever, leave it on our Facebook page or our website, horriblehorriblepodcast.com.
Yeah, just to inform people what she said, because during that episode, unfortunately, this is the one you were off on your honeymoon for.
Yeah.
Chris and I were talking about the haunted houses that were featured in the movie and if they were actually real or not. And we asked, hey, if anybody in Texas actually knows, let us know. And sure enough, Deanna lives in Texas. And she said, yes, all those haunted houses in the movie are real places that were in Texas, and that she's actually been to most of them, if not all of them herself.
Very cool.
So that's awesome. All right, let's moving on to Bloody Mary 3D.
Ugh.
The movie was released December 30th, 2011. And we could only find it on YouTube.
I found this really strange, yeah. So YouTube occasionally would have full-length movies, and for a while you could actually get some decent movies full-length. Now, they've been shutting a lot of them down.
Yeah, a lot of them.
So I don't know if this is just one where the guys are like, no, this is our property, this is our intellectual right to put it up on YouTube, and they do it that way. I'm not sure. However, the gentleman who posted it that I watched it off has only been posted since October 6, 2015.
Yeah, I watched it off of some girls like Melissa something, her website or her YouTube page. So yeah, it's only on YouTube. If you really, really want to watch it, you can before it's taken down.
Because it will get taken down.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. It was written by Keith Parker and directed by Charlie Vaughn, with a runtime of 82 minutes. Cast notes. This movie stars not one, not two, but three porn stars and a wannabe pop star.
That's a great description. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else you'd call them.
Yeah. So anyway, it stars Veronica Ricci, who plays Mary Worth / Bloody Mary. She is one of the three porn stars. I looked her up.
Now, wasn't she also like a Penthouse of the Year?
Yes, she was a Penthouse pet. I don't know if it was Penthouse of the Year, but she was a Penthouse pet.
I think she was like a winner like 2011 or something.
Who knows?
Yeah.
And then
we should have done our research a little bit more on this one.
Well, I knew that she was a porn star. That's as far as my research went, because I didn't go into too much detail on her. Then the other porn star is named Shay Golden, who plays one of the characters at the very beginning of the movie. And then our good friend, well, I personally not a friend of ours, but
I would consider him a friend.
Now that we've done, this is the third movie of his we've
Friend
done.
of the show.
Mr. Ron Hedgehog Jeremy is in this movie as well. So this is now the third Ron Jeremy movie we've ended up doing on this show. And that's really about it as far as cast goes. And then the wannabe pop stars, Derek Jameson, who, we have a bunch to say about him later. I'm sure we do. Yeah. All right, so cannonballing into this movie, it opens with... They don't pull any punch. It opens straight up with a straight up lesbian sex scene that's set in 1904.
Yeah. Hey, that's the year of the World's Fair, St.
It
Louis.
was St. Louis World's Fair, 1904.
All right, for those of you who don't know, we're based in St. Louis, and anytime we can mention the World's Fair in 1904, we do it because we're desperate for attention.
Hey, that makes us...
Just defer to it.
So... both these girls, Veronica Ricci and Shay Golden, they get butt-ass naked, and we see everything. I mean everything.
Yes.
And my first real note is, how is this movie on YouTube?
Yeah. So, like I said, watch it while you can, because it's going to get pulled off. I ain't no snitch.
No.
I'm not going to report it. I implore you, everyone out there,
but...
not to report it, but...
wow. I mean, this is like this is almost straight up porn style, like how vivid. I mean, it's one step away from actually close-ups of cunnilingus going on.
Well, yeah, it's very Cinemax-esque, I
yeah,
guess.
but I mean, you see like
she's going down on the other girl.
You see the full-on front. You see the vagina. You see the labia minora. You see the lips.
Well, don't get technical. That's not sexy.
Yeah,
anyway,
you're right. so
yeah, it's pretty hot, pretty steamy.
Yeah.
But it also looks kind of clunky. It's like they're just like, this is our job.
Yeah,
they're really not that into it.
Yeah.
Also for 1904, man, they got tan jobs and dye jobs.
I was just about to bring that up. For 1904, the historical accuracy is not there. The historical accuracy is not there. It's because, like I said, this opening is supposed to take place in 1904. These girls would not be rocking a shaved hardwood floor look. They would be having some serious shag carpet going on down there, like a jungle going on.
True.
So, right there, I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah. Plus, I think Blondie had a total body tan. Spray tan on.
I don't remember that much about, but probably
dyed hair. Both of them had like very unnatural hair color. Yeah.
So, the two girls, one's Mary Worth, and the other is just you never get her name. She's listed in the credits as Robin Goodfellow, but it doesn't fucking matter. You never get her name. She's pointless. So her husband comes home, and he kind of hears he's making a sandwich. He kind of overhears what's going on. He peeks in, sees it.
Before he comes in, he pulls a bottle of booze out of the mailbox.
Yeah, in a brown paper, which I forget about. It's so weird. It's like, what? Why
I know
is it in your
alcoholics.
mailbox?
I know alcoholics have at times will hide alcohol, but he's the man in 1904. There's no reason for him to be hiding his booze.
Why the hell? That's not Prohibition era yet.
So that was just weird.
Yeah,
really weird.
Yeah, why in the mailbox? And it's like that's the mailman left. Like here's like that's a pretty awesome delivery. But so he sees what's going, goes back to get and grabs the big old kitchen knife, like your Michael Myers style.
Yeah, huge knife. And
then he just bursts into the bedroom and basically just kills the blonde. He slashes her across like the ribs. God, the rib cage. Jesus Christ. So he slashed across there and she's like, ah, and Mary's like, what are you doing? And he just goes crazy. He kills the blonde, which you don't really see. It's off screen.
Okay. Just really quick. When I first started watching this movie, I accidentally started watching the dubbed
So did I.
Indian version.
Yep.
So in the dubbed Indian version, you don't see any sex. You see him like kissing and stuff and starting to take off their clothes, but they don't show any nudity.
Yeah, no nudity.
However, they show more violence.
Yeah, there's way more violence in the opening scene.
Yeah,
than the
like
sex and
he
nudity.
cuts the blonde's chest and then slits her throat, and she takes like 3 minutes to die.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Which
Yeah.
I would have loved to see in the
it was
original
like,
cut.
it's weird. Like you almost want to splice the two of them together.
So, and then I guess the English version, there's more sex, but they edit down the violence. Whereas I guess in this Indian dubbed version, they edit down the sex and increase the amount of violence in the movie.
yeah.
So yeah, go on. But it was so
No, it's
weird.
really weird because I didn't realize you did. Because I did the same thing. I
Yeah.
started watching. I'm like, holy shit, is this the actual movie? Is it dubbed? And then I'm like, oh wait, there is another version. And I realized the difference between the openings were so dramatic. So yeah, so he kills the blonde girl, and then he turns his attention to Mary, and he starts reciting Bible verses to her about how a woman shall not lie with another woman, blah blah blah. It's impure, it's unethical.
Oh, and the sound quality is so bad.
It is
Like,
awful.
the music's so much louder. I couldn't understand half the things he was saying.
And so basically, he just kills Mary, and again, an awful death scene where you can barely see anything going on. And he rips off this necklace that she's wearing, and just walks out of the house.
That's it.
Just leaves. So roll the opening credits, which are god fucking awful. Which knowing now because this is supposed to be 3D, and the first time I watched it, well, I should say the only time I watched it, I kept wondering like, well, where the fuck's the 3D? Now, Aaron informed me when he got here that these credits were part of the fact that the reason they look so off was because I guess it was done in the weird. This is one of the things you can see in 3D. So either way, I don't think it makes it any better.
So yeah, the 3D, the opening credits, it's got this kind of. Actually, the song isn't too bad. This Bloody Mary song by this punk rock band or something.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. It's kind of catchy, and they're showing clips from the movie and stuff, and it's in this weird, almost sepia tone-ish kind of light. And then, but I have 3D glasses. I put them on, and yeah, there was some little effects going on here or there. So. That's the most 3D I've gotten. And actually, I'm still wearing the 3D
Yeah,
glasses
you're wearing
right
one.
now. I'm going to take these fucking things off because I'm getting a headache.
Yeah.
So. All right.
So after the credits, we jump to present day Los Angeles, and two girls that look like hookers are basically walking down the side of some building, and
They look like they came out of a Whitesnake video.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Very like
Yeah,
80s,
they do.
like mid 80s rocker chick kind of look.
Yeah, that's a great explanation of it, or description. So they come up to this door, and taped on the wall next door is a piece of paper that reads, music video shoot here or something like that. They have some chit chat. The blonde girl pulls out a key from her bra while basically telling the other girl that she flashed her tits to the security guard to get the key. And the acting is fucking horrendous.
They're on Xanax, I swear to God.
Yeah, it's so bad.
They have no energy.
none.
No energy.
He's like, "How'd you get that key?" Oh, I
Let-
bribed a security guard.
Let's just
The
say
blonde's a
that-
little more energetic than the
Oh,
brunette. The
Barry-
brunette is awful.
Barely, though. I
Yeah.
mean, they're both some of the worst acting I've ever
Yeah,
seen. I mean,
it's
we've
so
seen a
bad.
lot of bad movies. This one's
This
ooh,
one's
this is
way
very-
up
this
there.
is this is
Yeah,
the cream of the crop of shitty
Shitty.
acting.
shitness in full effect. So the two of them, they go inside and they rip the sign off the wall as they go in. Now they're in a hallway and they come to this picture of Matt Elias on the wall. Now this guy, Matt Elias, is supposed to be like this super big music rock pop star.
He's kind of
of
like
the movie.
like Justin Timberlake, I guess.
Yeah, that's
you
my-
know,
like, he's like a
or
Timberlake
Usher,
or- yeah.
or something like that. Like
Yeah.
he's this pop star, new and up and coming pop star, and they're like, I can't believe we're here.
I know. How did we do this? It's like,
Wow.
what are we gonna do? Like, they're just gonna, and there's
I
basically
can't-
the play is they're gonna stay here and wait and try to sneak in and get into be in the new music video. And the one girl's like, well, what, like we're so much hotter than the girls they put in videos. Yeah, I guess so. Well, what if they don't want us? Like, what happens when you call it? When Blonde's like, well, what's the worst that could happen? They can kick us out. I'm like, yeah, easily. They'll just kick you out. Like, why? Of course they'll kick you out.
So yeah.
So they find their way to this room where the video is going to the video shoot's going to take place. And it's a room with a stage and guitars and mics on the stage. Now, for anybody who's gone back and listened to our earlier episodes, you might recognize some of the sets used in this movie because it's the same fucking sets and building that were used in Night of the Dead, Friday the 13th.
Which also starred Ron,
Ron
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
And when I saw this, I thought, you bastard, because Marshall picks the majority of the movies. You know, he has a list, he has a rundown, he picks out most of the movies. Every once in a while, we'll get a suggestion here or there, but for the most part, he knew what he was fucking doing.
Yep.
You knew what you were doing, you bastard.
I did.
You bastard. Oh my god, when I saw this, oh no,
I was like, I want how long it'll take Aaron to pick up on this.
I knew something smelled bad as soon as I started watching this, and those two bimbos were trying to act. And I'm like, something's not right. Something's not right. And I'm starting to see them go room to room, and I'm like, oh no, God, please, Jesus.
The hallway and the room are back. So the girl's like, we have a lot of time to kill. What should we do?
And I'm thinking lesbian scene.
Yeah, no. So the blonde girl tells the brunette the story of Bloody Mary or Mary Worth, and we get some flashback shots of Mary being murdered from the beginning.
What we just saw.
Yeah, which they actually there's more violence and they show more of her being killed in the flashback than you
Right.
actually see in the original. So they said, hey, let's go to the bathroom and we'll do the whole Bloody Mary thing, basically the Candyman style. And
Right. And when I was a kid, I
although
remember...
really Candyman's based off Bloody Mary, so really.
Yeah, because when I was a kid, I remember hearing the Bloody Mary thing.
Yeah.
It was, you know,
I
you
think
say...
everybody's
Right,
heard
it's
it.
kind of one of those
urban
legends that are
Yeah.
going around for kids to get spooked on.
So the blondes in there lighting candles on the sink in front of the mirror, which happens to have curtains wrapped around it. Like, why the fuck are there curtains around a mirror in a shitty rundown bathroom?
Right, like this is a very sacred mirror.
Yeah. And I just kind of want to know where they got the fucking candles from, because
Right.
the girls didn't even have purses with them when they walked into the building, but all of a sudden there's like 6 or 8 candles they're lighting on this sink with a lighter. Like, where did that come from? So they say Bloody Mary 3 times. The door slams closed behind them, and they spin around.
And boom.
And while they spin around, Bloody Mary kind of shows up in the mirror behind them, or she's standing behind them, completely naked and bloody. And so they spin around again, and they see her in the mirror, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
There's like no suspense.
No.
You know, in any other horror movie, they'll go, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. And then like, ha ha ha. Oh, you know, and it's like, oh, okay, nothing happened. And then,
No,
boo!
this is
there was
instant.
none. It was like, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary.
Nope,
and then
she's
shit
right
hits
there.
the fan.
Yep.
Ah!
She's right there.
Holy cow.
Her response time is on point.
Yeah.
So what comes next here is one of the worst effects in movie history. What is supposed to be Mary reaching through the mirror and grabbing the blonde girl and pulling her into the mirror with her. But what it really is just a side shot of the 2 girls screaming with Mary standing just off of camera, and she reaches her arms into frame, just like from the left side of the camera. She just reaches her arms in, grabs the blonde girl's
Who
head.
is putting up no struggle.
No struggle. They're just
going,
standing there.
looks at her friend like,
And the friend who does, I was about to say, the other girl does nothing to try to help her friend. She doesn't like grab her and try to pull her back. She just stands there screaming. And the blonde girl even turns her head and like looks at her. She's like turns her head screaming at the
like,
girl.
this is happening.
This is happening. You could stop. You could grab me right now. But no, nothing.
and this is a throwback also to Night of the Dead, Friday 13th. The same movie with the same people in the same place.
Well, it's not the same
Or,
people.
well,
the
same movie, yeah, but the same place. Because remember, in that film, no one tried to put up a fight at all.
You're right. The zombie just bit
They
everybody.
just grabbed them and they went,
dead.
ah! It's
Yep.
this, oh, yikes.
You're totally right about that. So anyway, yeah. So she doesn't try to help, and you see blood, the skin splatter on the mirror while the brunette girl just stands there screaming. So you really don't know how the blonde girl dies, but she does. So now Mary comes out of the mirror and stalks the other girl down some hallways. And Mary walks like the goddamn fucking Universal monster mummy. just or Frankenstein's monster or like the old goddamn zombies.
She just looks zoned out with her arms out in front of her, like
eyes are all big, like
yeah.
all bug-eyed, and she's like walking down, like with her arms stretched out in front of her. But instead, like her hands trying to like, grasp at somebody, like fingers extended away from her, her hands are like turned toward each other, so like her palms are like
folded in
face-
towards herself.
Yeah, and so it's really fucking weird.
Yeah,
looking.
it's like she's got carpal tunnel syndrome really bad, and like I forgot my braces for my wrist. Like it's like they're
Totally.
contorted.
It's just weird looking. So she corners the girl in some room. She grabs her by the neck, lifts her up, and you think she's gonna like snap her neck or something, but no. She hangs her with a wire hanger from a closet bar.
She
What the fuck?
this wire hanger couldn't hold a heavy sweater.
I know. It's so bad. I mean,
It's like the thought. I guess the rash. It's like think of it as like the killer grabs someone and sticks them on a meat hook and they hang.
Yeah.
But she's sticking her on a wire hanger, and I don't understand it. Where does it go in? How does it? What
it's like
happens?
You can see the wire. They just kind of bent the wire enough, just like put it over her head and then hook it onto the fucking the metal pole rod, and she just hangs from.
Oh god.
Oh my god! The reality of that is one, the hanger would snap or bend completely, or the closet bar would just.
There's no weight.
The weight would just.
There's
just rip
no
the hanger right off
way
the bar.
in hell.
Yeah, absolutely zero. It's
Even if this thing was made of the most intense, strong steel, titanium, whatever, you're right. The bar would break.
yeah.
But it's so fucked up.
This is like the worst kill we've ever seen. And
This-
we've
I
seen some
think-
shitty kills.
I
so
think this
far,
is probably
but this
probably
is
the worst kill.
Wow, it's so retarded. So cut to some B-roll shots of Los Angeles while a radio DJ does voiceover talking about Matt Elias and his upcoming secret video shoot for his new music video. And if you can figure out where it is, you might just be it's stupid. Oh god, this pains me what comes next. This leads us into a music video for Matt Elias's hit song Ribcage. This is one of the worst things I've ever fucking seen and heard. Ever. It's god fucking awful, and it's a full length music video.
A full length music
And
video.
it's like 4 minutes long.
Yeah.
And they don't cut. It's like, oh, we'll play a little bit of it and fade out and move on. You get you get the idea. No, you watch the entirety of this music video in its
4 minutes,
horrendous,
yeah.
horrendous.
Can't you
it's
hear
god
the
fuck-
boom boom baby
Baby
banging on my rib cage? Oh, it's stuck in my head because they
Yeah.
don't play. They play it a couple times in this movie.
Oh, so many times.
They play it a couple times in this movie, and if you think about it, if they're actually trying to get this guy to have a release or do something, it's not a bad idea. You play it 3 or 4 times in the movie, and it gets stuck in your head. You can play anything 3 or 4 times, it's going to get stuck in my head.
Yeah.
I just watched this, and now I want to stab something into my ear.
Yeah.
That's why I'm drinking so much.
Yes. So once the auditory torture is over, it cuts to a blonde girl talking on her cell phone with her mother, and it's a boring and pointless scene that has no bearing on the rest of the movie. It's just like a filler. I guess it's supposed to introduce her character, but her character is pointless anyway.
There's a lot of filler in this movie.
Yeah.
A lot of filler.
It's-
pretty much the movie is filler. Now that's just, this spot in the movie. You see the blonde girl getting into the car and she's talking to her mom like, "This is my shot to be an actress. I'm going on auditions." And mom's like, "You should go to school." And she's like, "Mom, I can go to school later.
She's like, "Oh,
I'm going to
you're
follow
still
my
doing
dream."
That thing.
Yeah, yeah. And okay, so you're like, okay, well, there's some backstory about her. She's probably going to be our main character. She's going to be
you
the
think
person
so.
we follow.
I
And
thought
guess
the same
what?
Thing.
Nope.
No,
Nope.
I thought the same thing. Okay, this is gonna be the main protagonist from here on out. Yeah, but she really, that's like the most lines she has for like the rest of the movie.
The security guard gets more screen time than she does.
She might. It's very possible because she just disappears for a long time. So anyway, back at the building we saw earlier with the 2 Whitesnake video girls. We see a truck pull up, and Frank the cameraman and this
What's her
Janet
name?
Page is her name. They get out and unload some. Now, Janet Page's character, I don't know what she's supposed to be.
I don't know
Because
either.
later we have a director, we have a producer, so we have the cameraman, we have the video girls, we have the star or the music, the artist. I don't know what her role in this is. They never establish if she's like the agent or if she's
Right.
she's not with the record label. You don't know. You really have no idea what her role in this is, but she's just there and she's bossing everybody around. Like she's in
But she's-
charge, but you've no idea why.
But she's kind of the producer bosses. She bosses everyone around except for the producer,
Right.
Chet Wood.
Chet Wood.
Yeah, who Chet Wood has this girl with her that
Eye
looks,
candy. Just big titty eye candy.
which looks almost exactly like Ron Sterling's girlfriend. You know, the former LA Clippers old man who got
the
in
racist
trouble.
guy.
Yeah, because that was the girl who recorded him. She looks a lot like her.
Oh, okay.
She looks a lot
I
like
never actually
her.
saw a picture of her. but
Yeah,
okay.
it looks a lot like her. So I'm just like, oh, look, it's Ron Sterling's whore.
Oh god, that's funny. So, yeah. Speaking of Chet Wood, now Chet Wood, the producer, pulls up, and his big titty eye candy. They both get out of the car, and then shortly followed by the director's.
And they don't even try to give him a clever name.
No, he's a stoner, and his name is Weed.
His name is Weed, and he's a stoner. And when he pulls up, he pulls up in like a busted ass old Volkswagen Rabbit, you know. And the car has got computer generated smoke.
Yeah, I have that right. He pulls up, and they added so much fake smoke around his car, and they do it so bad. It's not like it's in the car coming out of the windows like it's hot box
it's
cigar.
like coming along with it.
It's like
Yeah.
fucking mist outside. It's like they photoshopped or like post production is obviously post production. They photoshopped like this, and it almost looks like the car is coming from like the left side, and it looks like the smoke's coming from the right side of the screen.
Yeah.
It's a shit effect.
It's horrible.
It's fucking bad.
I thought it'd be something to do with the 3D, so I put my 3D glasses on and watch it, and it just I still couldn't figure it out.
So during this introduction scene, you get the same music loop over and over and over again. It's so goddamn annoying.
And it's loud.
It is loud. It's bad. So now we meet the super obese security guard, Mike.
Very androgynous.
I thought he was a lesbian too. I was like, is that a guy or a girl?
I thought it was a woman at first.
I did too.
Yeah,
It took me a while.
He's got this incredibly high-pitched voice and very cherub kind of face. You know, it looks like he couldn't grow a beard to save his life.
I mean,
You
he
know.
looked, and he's so big, like he's got, it's like, is that,
He's easily 500 pounds.
yeah, and like, is that a woman or a guy? I had to say,
Mm-hmm.
I had to look up the cast and like, oh, okay, it is a guy. It is a guy.
He's busting Chet Wood's balls about having...
Eye candy there.
Yeah,
Big titty eye
because she's
candy.
not a +1.
Yeah.
And it's a pointless scene.
Yeah,
but
it's totally pointless.
It's supposed to be funny, but it's not even funny.
It's supposed to be.
There's so much wrong with this movie because lots of times in shitty movies, there's still kind of those funny moments
Yeah.
here or there that are tongue in cheek, and
that
you
you
know,
can laugh at.
and there's none of that in this
No,
movie.
the-
And
they-
they tried, but
they-
they just
yeah.
failed
They're-
miserably.
Yeah, the security guard in, I think later even Chet to some extent are supposed to be the comedic relief, but it falls flat. They fail
It's
miserably at it.
Awful.
So after you get through Mike, Elias and his girlfriend Sky show up, and they're arguing because he got a blowjob from some other girl, and she's all pissed off about it.
wasn't cheating, babe. It was just a blowjob.
Yeah.
I-
Yeah, use that line, guys.
Good-
I'm sure that'll work
good-
for you.
Good luck to you fellas if you're using that one. I don't think my wife would appreciate that if I was
Yeah.
like, baby, no.
No.
It was just a blowjob. It wasn't cheating. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and now we meet Alan Sussex, the building manager, or actually, I thought it was the building manager, but they keep calling it the studio. If that's a studio, it's a shitty ass studio.
It's just an old warehouse.
Yeah. But so basically, anyway, Alan Sussex is the guy played by Ron
Ron
Jeremy.
Jeremy. Ron Jeremy. And when I saw him, I just went, yay!
Yay! Now, again, the acting is horrendous, but once again, Ron Jeremy is by far the best actor in this entire movie.
And the award goes to Mr. Ron Jeremy.
Yes.
I mean, he is, and he's not a good actor, but he's leaps and bounds
Yes,
better than these
so
people.
far better. So now the blonde girl from the phone conversation in the car earlier, she shows up, and eventually we learn her name is Elle or something like that, or Ellie. But for a while, you don't really know the names of people for a while. So Elias, Matt Elias is in his dressing room, and Mary, wearing a green sundress, walks up behind him and says that she's his biggest fan and that she's been looking for him for a long time. And point of note here that Matt Elias and the husband from the opening scene are played by the same actor.
One and the same
person. So Mary sees that Elias is wearing the same necklace that she wore when she was killed. And she sees this and she vanishes while Elias happens to be looking away.
And Elias turns around and goes, "Oh, what happened?
Yeah.
Where did she go?"
Yes.
It's horrible acting. Oh my
So
God.
at this point, Weed, he's like, he goes off to get high.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Now, Mary approaches him, now wearing a different dress. She flirts and seduces him.
She wears a different
I have that,
outfit
yeah.
in just about
Her wardrobe changes are insane.
off the charts.
Yeah.
She's got to have 12, 13 different outfits
Yeah.
through the whole movie.
When she's not completely naked.
Yeah. Different panties, too, at times. Sometimes she's completely naked. Sometimes she's wearing panties. Sometimes she has a bra. It's
Yeah, there's no continuity with her at all.
constantly changing outfits.
Right. So Mary basically flirts with and seduces Weed to get him to put her in the music video. Elias is now in the bathroom where the two girls earlier summoned Mary, and he's washing his face. Mary shows up naked behind him. He sees her, spins around. We get more flashbacks of Mary's murder, like in mid-spin. And then when he turns around completely, she's gone again. So Fat Mike is going down.
The security guard.
Security guard, it's called Fat Mike, is going down the hallway. And
hallway.
Again, if you listen to our Night of the Dead episode, you understand which hallway I'm referring to.
Now, I
It's
must say,
the
this
hallway.
film did an excellent job in comparison to the other one of utilizing the space provided. They were able to give you, at least a feeling that there was several different rooms or much more going on in this place instead of just 3 different
Right.
rooms.
That's
However,
true.
it's the hallway.
It's the same black hallway. And he's got his gun out, which, again, how many security guards actually have a gun? I don't know. I think most of them don't, but some, I guess.
And if you do have one, you're probably trained not to use it like a goddamn toy.
Yeah, and which is what he's doing. He's got it out, and he's spinning in circles, looking like a retarded kid pretending to be an action hero.
Right.
Like, he's spinning around going, aha, I got you. Ha woohoo.
Right.
It, again, trying to be funny, but they just make this guy look like he's autistic or something.
Or Down syndrome.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Well, there's definitely something wrong with him because I couldn't tell if he was a woman or a man.
Yeah.
And he's about 500 pounds.
So Ron Jeremy is talking to Sky, Alice's girlfriend, and he's like, here, he offers her a beer. And in the stairwell, the drummer, which is the one of the most pointless characters in this entire movie. You see like 3 times this entire movie.
I totally forgot about him until the very, very, very end.
Yeah. So you see him show up, then you see him in this scene, and then like you don't see him again until like the end of the movie.
And he just wanders around the place.
Yeah.
No one gives 2 shits about him.
And the only reason you even know he's a drummer is because he's always got drumsticks in his hand.
And he's batting on things. He's
Yeah,
like,
that's it. So he's sitting on the stairwell. Jan's going up, and he tells Jan that, "Hey, look out! Alan is, or AKA Ron Jeremy, is talking to Sky." And Jan's like, "Well, so what? Who cares?" And then Drum's like, "Oh, everyone knows he's got a big dick." That's the whole point. He's like, "What?" So Jan's
it's
like,
kind
"Whatever."
of a
It's
wink, wink, nudge, nudge to Ron Jeremy
yeah.
having a big wang.
Yeah,
but
that's-
it's again still doesn't work. It
No,
doesn't,
it
work
doesn't.
at all.
like, who cares? And Jan is reaction like, "Whatever," and she leaves.
I mean, it's a total nod to Ron Jeremy, but it still doesn't work in
No,
any way,
it
shape,
doesn't.
or form.
And it's not like he really even like hits on the girl. He's just having conversations with people. He's actually like a pretty cool. He's like the
Yeah.
laid back guy in this
Yeah,
movie. He's
yeah.
like chill.
And that's the one thing. He's again my favorite character, and everyone's so rushing and yelling at each other. Everyone's an asshole.
Yeah, everyone is an asshole.
Everyone's
in
an
this movie.
asshole in this movie. There's no good person in any of these people. They're all dicks. And
The blonde Ella might be. She doesn't seem to do too much. She seems all right, but everybody else, and I think Sky, as for the most part, is okay. But
Yeah,
everybody else is pretty much. You're right, a complete tool.
And
ass.
so, and he's just kind of like, man, I remember back in the day when people were more concerned about having fun and having a laid back good time as opposed to just working, you know? And I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, Ron Jeremy, that's right. That's the way I want to try and live my life. Work just kind of comes second. The experience is what matters.
So after this, we get more rib cage music video scenes. They go back to it again,
And
it's
the
no
whole
better.
music video again.
It's awful. So
Fast forward through it if you're gonna watch this, and
Yeah.
just fast forward through it.
So everyone now is gathered in the stage room, ready to start shooting the video. Weed comes in with Mary, who is actually at this point she's still in the same dress, and they all get in places. Right as Weed calls for action, the power goes out, and so everybody's like, "What the fuck? This bullshit." Blah blah.
Everyone's yelling at each other and screaming at each other about how much time they don't have time. We don't have time. We
Yeah.
don't have time. Get this fixed. Get this fixed. Get this fixed. And then they're like, "Okay, everybody, take a break."
Yeah, exactly. They take more breaks. It's like,
All they're doing is screaming about how they have no time, and then once they go,
Take a
all right,
break."
let's take a break.
yep. So Elias takes Sky to go get something. They leave. Jan's like, "Get the power back on," blah blah blah, and they're like, "Oh, we can't figure it out." Or Frank, the cameraman, is like, "It's gonna take some time," or whatever. Alan just goes down a flight of stairs, gets to a fume box, flips the switch, and the power comes back on. Like, it's that simple.
Genius.
And even Ron Jeremy makes like a gesture, like this is so easy. Like, you guys are idiots. And cut to Mary walking down a hallway in only a black thong holding a knife. Just a random shot of her naked walking down a hallway.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no sense whatsoever. And you get several of these shots throughout the movie. She's here, she's dressed, she's walking down a hallway, she's naked.
Filler.
Sometimes she's bloody, sometimes she's not bloody.
It doesn't make any sense.
No
None.
point. It's so, yeah, all over the place. Alan is by himself playing a guitar. He's like, I could be a rock star. He just roll up the sleeve, flex a muscle,
Suck in the gut. I like that.
playing some, play the
He's
guitar.
playing guitar. He breaks a
He
string.
breaks strings, like, shit. And he's like, well, play harmonica. So he does the same thing. Roll up the sleeve, suck in the gut, starts playing harmonica, and he plays it. Like, he
actually-
legitimately
He's
plays it.
playing the
and
harmonica.
He does it fairly well.
Pretty good job.
So
Ron Jeremy, multi-talented.
Yeah, I can see Ron Jeremy and Bruce Willis have a harmonica showdown. So the camera pans up to reveal Mary laying on the floor of like a storage area or loft area above him.
In like a nightie, in like a lingerie black, like.
Yeah, and now no, it's like a
Neglig-
dress.
yeah,
She's now back in this black dress, which she was in.
But it's
earlier.
shorter. But it looks like sleepwear.
Yeah, who knows? She gets up, she climbs down the ladder, and she talks with Alan for a while.
And he's just
Alan's
shooting
like
the
on
shit
his
with him.
bench, and she's on another bench, kind of behind him, and he's kind of looking
And
more
this is
towards camera.
so awkward because he's talking to her and he's not being a creep.
No, but he's got his back turned.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're having a conversation with somebody, you wouldn't sit like that. You would turn and look at them.
You would talk to the person. It's not like he was. It was such an awkward.
Yeah, it was basically just a
scene.
lame excuse to get into, so he would have his back to her so he can get killed. That's it. But in real life, like I said, nobody would do that.
He talked to her for
Yeah.
like a minute with his back turned to her.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
No.
It doesn't make any sense. But it's like you said, it's kind of a setup for her. She grabs the broken guitar string.
Because he hands her and says, "Hey, can you fix this
Yeah.
while I do this?"
She takes the broken guitar string, sneaks up behind him, and then gives him a Colombian necktie.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and again, you don't really see what happens, but it's really confusing first because you see her wrap the cord and she starts like strangling. Like, okay, she's strangling him with the cord, but the sound effects they add are like kind of gushy. So it's like, is she cutting his head off with it, or is she just strangling him? And you don't know because it cuts away.
It's really tight on his face. It doesn't show his neck.
Yeah.
It's just him going. "Argh." And yeah, my thought was, okay, well, the guitar string's so thin and little in the force, it's breaking the skin and causing bleeding and all that.
Yeah,
It's just like The Godfather when Luca Brasi gets it.
So, yeah, so it cuts away, and it cuts to Elias and Sky sitting in his car talking about cheating and his hypocritical stance on it. And because she's like, it wasn't, he's like, it's just a blowjob and all that. And she's like, well, if a guy went down on me, what would you feel? He's like, oh, I'd be pissed, and you'd be kicked to the curb. And she's like, haha, see, she gets pissed off. She gets out of the car and like walks off down the street. So back at the studio, the producer's Big Titty Eye Candy is in some random room filled with drum sets, fixing her makeup. Fat Mike comes in and just kind of stares at her, and she leaves. And then after she leaves, he says, I'm going to tap that tonight. And that's the whole scene. It's fucking retarded.
That's it. Again, the attempt at humor.
It's just,
but there's nothing to
here.
It.
It's, so now at this point, Elias and Sky are back at the studio now, even though we just saw her storm off out of the car, but she comes back with him, and they're talking to the producer Chet Wood, and they're basically saying what comes out of the scene is that Elias is going to drop him as his producer after this album is finished, and Chet gets all pissed off, and he goes into the whole "I made you" rant speech, and you were nothing before me.
You were
blah,
nothing
blah,
but playing
blah.
in bars, you piece of crap.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. And again, the acting is so bad. It's so horrible.
Yeah.
And this is kind of when I'm watching this, I just can't even figure out the logic either. If you're so mad and you're pissed at your producer, why at a music video shoot are you going to say that you're going to be leaving him? There's no benefit for this guy to make it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make good business sense.
No,
Doesn't make any good acting sense.
I guess it's just like, well, we're contractually obligated to do it regardless. But yeah, you're still right. It's like, why
would you do this?
Yeah, why right now? Just do it afterwards.
This is not the professional way, buddy.
No. So Chet storms off and goes into some side room. Mary, who is now wearing a schoolgirl outfit, comes out from behind the door. She flirts with Chet. They talk about killing Elias. And she says that she'll kill him, but he has to get the necklace from Elias first. And she promises that she can make all of his darkest desires come true.
All of your darkest desires come true. I don't know if I want my darkest desires to come true. Because I've got some pretty dark thoughts from time to time. And if they came true, I'm sure I'd be kind of upset.
Yeah. So she vanishes as Fat Mike comes in saying that Janet needs to see Chet. And super boring ass scene follows of Sky and the cameraman talking. Nothing comes of it. I don't even remember what they're even talking about. It's so goddamn boring.
They're just filler.
Yeah,
they're
it's
just shooting the shit, drinking
at
Coronas.
the craft services table, which is basically like a box of Cheez-Its and like beer.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
basically
yeah.
it. So
Hey, I'd drink it. I'd hang out there.
now we get some more scenes of Elias being a total douche diva. He's like, I'm not doing this. I don't have to put up with this stuff. I'm being in my dressing room, whatever. And
I'm taking a break.
yeah. So he goes into his dressing room. Sky follows him in there. And now they have this shitty
Makeup scene.
shitty heart-to-heart talk.
And it's awful.
It's so bad. Like, they're trying to be emotional, like, and like, oh, I forgive you, I love you, blah blah blah.
And it's stale.
So bad. It's so
Oh.
like, he is fucking awful. The guy who plays Matt Elliott, Derek Jameson, is atrocious in this movie. Now, the girl who plays Sky, like, it's like Natalie Perro or something like that. She is probably one of the better actresses in the movie, and that's not great by me, but
Because she still sucks.
but she sucks. But
In comparison,
in
to everyone
comparison
else.
to she's like Meryl Streep in this. It's like Ron Jeremy and this girl, and then are way up there, and then everybody else is just
And she sucks.
God bad. So anyway, they make up, and she's like, "Hey, well, she just starts giving him a blowjob."
Yeah. Oh, I love you. I love you too, honey. Time to get your dick sucked.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Ugh. It's the makeup BJ.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So the director wants Elias. They're arguing with Janet, Weed and Janet and Chet. They're all talking and arguing because the weed wants Elias to take off his jewelry to make him look more like a starving artist for his video, because it needs to be raw. We're in this busted up warehouse. It's run down. Where it's gonna be raw. Like, you can't wear the jewelry because it's too much bling bling. Like, you look too rich. We need you poor looking or whatever.
Yeah. So the logic was, we're in a shitty place. Why don't you look like shit?
Yeah.
So take off all your bling. Yeah.
Exactly. So,
But this gives a opportunity for Chet to get the necklace for Mary.
yeah, he's like, oh, I'm all about it. That's a great idea, and so he can get his hands on the necklace. The cameraman now goes off looking for Alan. We go back to Elias, who is still getting a BJ, and he looks up and sees a naked and bloody Mary standing in the corner. So, and when he looks back down at what's supposed to be Sky, he now sees Mary down on her knees, blowing him instead of Sky. He flips out. He stands up, but now Sky is back.
Yeah, like he hallucinated.
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And she's like, "What's wrong? What's going on? What happens?" And he tells her what he saw and what he, all that. Chet comes in to convince Elias to take off the jewelry, which he actually does. So
he's
"Fine,
like,
I'll do
okay,
it."
yeah, all right. So,
And then we go back to the cameraman, who's actually, we learn later his name's like Frank or something like that. He's looking for Alan in the basement, and it looks like a basement that belongs to a hoarder. Is basically what this place looks like.
there's boxes everywhere, and these are genuinely. This is obviously a real place where shit's stored, because they're like. They're not stock boxes. These are old boxes.
They're just junk.
It says like Casio on the side, like old TV boxes just packed with crap. And it's just crap all over the place.
Yeah. I mean, they can barely even walk through here. I'm surprised they could get a camera in there. So he finds Alan dead on the bench that he was killed on. Mary pops up in yet another fucking outfit, stabs
and
the
she's
cameraman.
speaking like.
Yeah, she every now and then she speaks in this like demonic voice, which you can't understand.
Can't understand
at all.
a thing she says.
I think there's like one or two lines near the end. It's like, "Give me the necklace." You can get, but everything else is like, I don't know. What
you
the fuck
can't
he
understand. It's just it.
Yeah. So she stabs him with another kitchen knife, and God, just
it takes him like 2 minutes to die.
He has such like an over the top death scene. Like he milks his death scene. So back to the rest of the group. More boring scenes where nothing's fucking happening at all. Mary shows up with Chet, and he's like, "Meet me in the bathroom and bring your big tittied eye candy with him." Or she actually says, "Bring big tits with you."
Yeah.
That's right. And it's of course referring to his eye candy bimbo. And so Chet takes her into the bathroom. He summons Bloody Mary in the mirror by saying her name 3 times. She appears behind Big Titty Eye Candy and kills her.
Comes through the mirror, yeah.
Comes through the mirror. But he kills her with what I can only assume is Mary coming from her behind and ripping
tearing her chest open,
boobs off, or ripping her chest cavity open.
They don't
Either way,
show
the
it or
effect
do it.
sucks.
So
and
she
you don't
reaches
see
through
anything.
and she has her hands on her boobs and starts to pull her fingers apart and leaves like it just looks like she put her fingers in
yeah,
some
you can
red
tell
paint.
like she just put her like it's like red paint, and then she
just like smears this red paint across her boobs.
Yeah.
and then they pan back and it's just blood popping up around her face. You know?
Yeah.
Like it's like she's sitting in a hot tub and there's blood popping up.
yeah, it's
on
like
her
somebody
face.
just tossing blood up from
Yeah.
underneath the camera, and you don't see what happens
Yeah.
at all. Or how
And
it
it's so
does.
funny because then they show it. They have Chet back up, and it's just him going, and then he runs away.
Yeah.
And I found a 45-second clip of just her death, which I want to put on our site just for people to see this horrible. It was like, just don't watch the movie, just watch this scene, and then you'll understand why this is all such a bad movie.
Cool. Yeah. That's definitely put that up.
Yeah.
So Chet runs out and joins the rest of the group. More boring ass things with god awful dialogue and acting.
All I wrote down was blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Mary comes up to Chet wanting her necklace, and she tries to take it from him, but it burns her or something. Like, the vampire touching silver now.
Right. Like, she reaches in to grab they keep calling it an amulet.
Yeah, well, at first it's a necklace, and then it suddenly becomes an amulet after, like, later. So
But
now
there's no
amulet.
gem. There's
No.
no gem in it. I thought
No.
amulets had to have gems. I
Who fucking
think they
knows?
do. Anyway, regardless.
Yeah.
She reaches in to grab the amulet, and ow.
Yeah, so she vanishes as soon as it burns her as Janet walks up. Now, again, it cuts to Mary in only black panties walking down a hallway again, holding a knife. So again, it's like, what the fuck is going on? Why they keep showing this? So outside, Mary shows up in another fucking outfit, and she's sitting on the tailgate of a truck.
Oh,
and she's got this knife, like, kind of in her right hand, kind of underneath her leg, so you can't really see it. And Sky comes out and changes shirts. Just comes quick, just like, oh, I spilled something on it.
no rhyme or reason. You don't know why. She comes out, takes off her shirt, puts on another t-shirt, and it's not even like a boob shot or anything. It's just her just changing her shirt. She's got her bra on. It's no big deal.
She says, oh, I spilled something on the other one, and changes shirts. That's it. Sky sits down next to Mary. They introduce themselves. They chit-chat.
Seems like they're getting along.
Yeah, and
they're like,
oh, and she's like, oh, what's your name, Mary? And then Sky's like, oh, Elias had a grandfather that had a wife named Mary. So does that mean you're? And then Mary like tosses Sky down, mounts her, and then slashes her throat with the knife, which again is a shitty effect because you just see her like holding the knife and go like swipe across the camera lens
in really shitty slow motion.
Yeah, it's really.
And again, I put my 3D glasses on, thinking, "Oh, okay, they're slowing it down." No, nothing.
No. So, Fat Mike comes up now. He comes out of the building. He comes up to the truck, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And Mary grabs like an ice pick. It's like Basic Instinct style. At first, like, is that a screwdriver? I'm like, no, it's not a fucking pick.
Actually, it looked like a meat thermometer. Like an electronic meat thermometer.
Maybe it was. I thought it was an ice pick, like some kind of thing.
If you're cooking a pork roast and you're like, "Whoa, I wonder what the internal temperature is."
The handle looks like a screwdriver, but the point looks like a thermometer or an ice pick.
And it's really skinny. And I see this massive 500-pound man coming up, and she's got this toothpick stabbing device. And I was like, what the fuck? She's going to have to stab the shit out of him to kill him. So it's going to take a year. He's so big.
And basically she stabs him in the face with it, even though like the effect shows like blood coming out of his ear.
It shows him like holding his ear like, ow, you slice me, bitch.
Yeah.
But he dies.
He dies from it.
Like, I don't understand.
I don't get it either. It makes no sense.
It's just the worst. I mean, she's got the tiniest weapon for the biggest person.
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's so bad. So she gets out of the truck bed, closes the tailgate with Sky's body inside, and just walks back into the studio. So back inside, Mary is now topless.
Sure.
She comes up from behind the drummer, who's just walking down the same hallway.
Again, this dumbass who's just been wandering around the whole time.
He's
the whole group is screaming for, we need action, we need to film,
we
need
to
to
doing his own thing.
He's just
popping away. She walks up behind him. She kills him with the knife. I'm guessing slits his throat or
it's like an above shot.
Yeah.
The only above shot in the whole movie.
Yeah. It's weird.
It's just weird. Yeah.
And so the drummer screams, and Janet hears the scream. Chet denies hearing anything, and it's like, yeah, just leave it alone, leave it alone.
And Chet just starts turning into like a bumbling Three Stooges kind of character. He's like,
a bumbling
oh my
idiot
gosh,
who can barely speak, and he's just trembling
like,
all the time now.
really hamming it up.
Yeah,
like
it's so over the top. The guy who play, so Chet then like comes, he's like, oh, it's Mary, and he's like, Jay's like, oh, you mean the Mary Worth from the Legends of the the Bloody Mary? And she's like, I wonder if she's related. I'm like, what?
All of a sudden, everyone knows. Oh yeah, Bloody Mary.
But then she's like, oh, this is a publicity stunt because apparently Elias has something about Bloody Mary in his album, so it's mentioned in an album somewhere. So
well, because she puts it all together, like, oh yeah, his great grandfather was married to, or like she puts it together, like, oh yeah, this is great, this is publicity.
Yeah, it's the logic is just mind blowing. Like there's none. It's fucking awful. So she walks off frame, and she comes back because she's finding her hands covered in blood. It's like there's blood on the doorknob, and now the rest of the group is starting to freak out. Mary comes up the stairs and throws her knife at Janet Kilner, and
Marshall has his hands on his head, covering his eyes here.
Because I don't know how to even begin to describe how ludicrous and how bad this knife throw looks. Like, first of all, if you're gonna throw a knife, a lot of people, either hold maybe by a blade and throw it,
Or by the handle.
or by the handle and throw it. But you throw it. You guys, listeners, you aren't stupid. Just picture throwing a knife and how you would do it. Now
It spins through the air.
end over end. Now let me try to describe how Mary throws the knife. She's holding it with her in her hand, with her arm in in her right hand with her arm raised at shoulder length, with her elbow up, and she's holding out with the point facing out.
So kind of like if you're going
Like
to
if
come
you're
down and
just
stab somebody. And the blade, if you put your hand down, lays along your forearm.
Yeah.
So she's holding it in a downward stabbing motion.
Like, that you would stab.
Downward stabbing motion,
but
yes. And that's how she throws it. Yeah.
She kind of moves her shoulder back a little bit and then throws it that way, but she doesn't you don't see her arm like a picture. You don't see her arm extend with the knife. She just
It's like she throws it like a spear.
Yeah.
Yeah, she chucks it like a spear.
It's so fucking weird and awkward looking. And then the special effect that shows the knife moving through the.
This is where you put on your 3D glasses.
It's so bad. I'm like, what was that?
3D glasses, everybody.
So anyway, the knife stabs Janet, and she's dead.
Yeah, it hits her in the back, and boom, instantly dead.
Yeah. And so Mary demands her amulet. She's like, give me my amulet. And
she's speaking in that.
Yeah. And at first, well, give it to her. And everybody's like, but then they're like, nope. And they run off.
Yeah, give it to her. Give it to her. Wait, whoa. Second thought.
Let's just run.
No, let's just run away.
Yeah. So Mary then throws another. She just keeps pulling knives out of
nowhere.
She has more knives. Like we last week, the Halloween Resurrection, we went through and count 6 or 8 knives that they used.
Yeah,
it's kind of the same thing here. But at least in that one, you kind of see, okay, pulling from a drawer, retrieving from a dead body. Here, Mary they just show up,
and she's not wearing any clothes.
Nope.
So where the hell is she getting these knives?
Yeah. So she throws another knife into the back shoulder of the blonde Ellie, and it's another same effect like last time. Just it's like a post-production Photoshop knife of somebody just drag. I know it's so bad looking. And they barricade themselves inside the dressing room. Weed and Elias pull the knife out of Elle's shoulder. Weed forces Chet to give Elias the amulet. It's like, give it to him. Mary shows up in the mirror in the dressing room. She comes out of the mirror, takes the knife from Weed's hand, just takes it from him.
Like, give me that. Ugh.
And then stabs Chet in the back with it. He dies. Mary tells Elias, again, give me the amulet. He says no. So she stabs him in the stomach with the knife. And Elias then says, you want it? Take it, bitch. And throws the amulet into the mirror.
Yeah, it doesn't hit the mirror.
No,
it doesn't clunk against the mirror.
Like the
and
Phantom
again,
Zone.
It's that weird effect. It's that crappy, weird computer effect of the amulet flying through the air into the mirror.
Yeah.
Put on your 3D glasses and you'll see it fade away.
Yeah. And so Mary goes into the mirror after the amulet.
Yeah.
Weed gets up and then shatters the mirror
sweet,
by kicking it.
I think he has a sweet line of "fuck you, bitch."
Yeah, that's
clever. Yeah.
And he breaks the mirror, kicking it, and you see like a really shitty effect of like Mary's reflection and like broken piece of the mirror fall away as like shitty music's played over it
really loudly.
Yeah. Now we get several scenes of the movie replayed, while the blonde girl from the beginning, who originally summoned her, does voiceover telling the urban legend of Mary Ware. So basically, just recapping the entire movie in these few scenes. Back to the present, Weed and Ellie check on Elias, who is now dead. Like, well, okay, whatever, and they leave. So they just leave. The camera zooms in on his face, on Elias's face, and fades, and kind of like a juxtaposition here, where it fades out from him and fades into
a dissolve is what they call it.
Thank you, dissolve. Thank you.
Yes, nice dissolve.
A dissolve into the picture of him hanging on the hallway. In the hallway, while the radio DJ reports on air about his mysterious death. So how the fuck did that DJ know so quickly about his death?
Well, I guess it's days later.
Yeah, I guess it would have to be. Mm-hmm. So, and he's like, let's remember him for the good times. And here's that ribcage. And they play the fucking ribcage music video again.
The third time.
It's not just okay, they can play the music and move on. No, it's the entire fucking video for the third time.
The third time.
As the credits begin to play. Now, the credits start with basically like, a picture of each character with their name, like blah, 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 play this person while ribcage is playing over it.
Mm-hmm.
So once they get through the picture parts, roll the actual credits. Now, once ribcage ends, they play the Punk Bloody Mary song during the credits again. And once but the credits are still going. So once the Bloody Mary song is over, what do they play to finish out the credits with? Motherfucking ribcage for the fourth or fifth time.
That would be the fourth time. And I'm glad because the version I watched, it ended right after the picture credits. Because I must have watched it on a different YouTube channel.
Yeah, I had.
And oh my God, thank God I didn't get a chance to see that fucking ribcage song again.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's the movie.
So there's two songs used in the entire movie. And oh God. So the movie's finally fucking over.
It's a short movie, but it feels like a year of my life is gone.
It does. It drags on. Oh God. So all right, let's move on to favorite kills.
There can be only one. Favorite kill.
What we got this week? A bunch of shit to choose from.
There's nothing. I don't like any of them.
I agree. I mean, I really don't. I mean, there's a decent amount, but but half of them you don't really see what happens, and the others are just fucking retarded.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you what my favorite kill is. And the only reason it's my favorite kill is because I got a chance to see it in the Indian dubbed version, is that blonde girl getting killed in the beginning, and she goes, that's
a good point. Yeah.
For like 2 minutes, and I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah, if you're watching the Indian, the Hindu,
the dubbed Hindu
version,
vision.
You're right. The blonde death scene. I should watch this whole movie in the Hindu version.
Probably
see
better.
What it's like. It might be better.
And she will not stop dying.
No.
So that's my favorite kill. Now, in the American English version, I guess I'm going to have to go with Mike. Because I don't know if he's dead or not, honestly.
Okay.
But the fact that he's 500 pounds and dies from a toothpick, essentially. It's a tiny, tiny little stabbing device on the biggest guy I think we've ever had in a horror movie.
He rivals the guy who played Beast in Sweatshop.
He really does. He's a big boy.
But Beast, I think he was fat, but Beast
was like kind of had more of an athlete.
Yeah.
Beast was taller, more athletic built with the fat with him.
But Mike was just
just all fat. There was no muscularity to him.
He was all bacon and chocolate cake.
Like Beast could play football. Beast could be like a offensive lineman or something like that.
Like the older days.
Yeah. Like he can move
like an
well.
80s wrestler or something.
Right.
Like that.
He moved well for a big guy, whereas Mike's just fat.
Yeah.
Really fat.
Yep.
So that's my favorite kill.
All right, mine. God, I don't know. Like, they're so fucking awful. I'd either go big titty eye candy just because it's something other than a stab, even though you don't see it, but you get the idea of what it's supposed to be. Or I'll go with other whore or White Snake Girl number 2, just because I can't believe they had the audacity to put on film a girl who gets hung by a wire coat hanger. Just for the sheer stupidity of that, I might put that in the top just because it's so goddamn stupid.
I think that might be the worst kill we've ever seen.
Yeah.
I really do.
So, I don't know. Either way, they all sucked for this week's episode. Let's just move on then. So let's go into odds and ends.
Not only did they watch these films, they researched them too. Ugh, what is wrong with these guys?
Not a whole lot, surprisingly. I should say, not surprisingly, not a whole lot for this movie. The ratings, those might surprise you. IMDb, 2.5 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, no thermometer score with a 25% audience score. Now, granted, there weren't a whole lot of reviews for it, but still 25%. That's nearly as high as Halloween Resurrection.
Well, it must be people who are somewhat affiliated with
I mean, it's
Yeah.
fucking awful. And then Amazon, fuck you, Amazon. 3.5 stars out of 5.
It's always
I
3.5,
don't understand.
you
I know. It's like, God, people on Amazon are just lazy or stupid, and they don't like. This is 1 star, half a star at best, or like, Barry. If you could put 0 stars, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So, anyway, plot keywords, not a whole lot. Music video, rock band, gore, which I call bullshit because it's not gory at all.
Agreed.
Independent film, stabbed to death, though that's in abundance. Blood splatter, decapitation, which nobody gets decapitated. Again,
No.
that's why I thought Ron Jeremy was going to get decapitated, but I don't.
So, in the Indian version, the blonde girl, the White Snake punk rocker 80s girl in the beginning, when she gets pulled into the mirror, you see the blood splattering, and then White Snake girl number 2 is on the brunettes like, ah. Mary throws her head to her through the mirror.
Oh, that's awesome.
But it looks, I mean, it literally looks like someone took a mask, put it over like a
styrofoam
foam head
yeah.
and put a blonde wig on it. The blonde wig is nothing at all.
That's-
It looks
I don't
like a
expect it
Dolly
to.
Parton wig.
Right.
Whereas the White Snake girl had like highlights
See,
and
why
stuff.
did they keep that in the other? Because that'd be
Yeah,
kind of cool.
yeah.
And
And
it
I
might
was-
just still a shitty effect, but at least something.
Something.
That would have been kind of cool. That probably would have been my favorite death then right there.
Yeah.
So female nudity, female frontal nudity, and lesbian sex.
There's definitely that.
There's-
Okay, this is another. There is so much boobs, but have you noticed how we haven't said a word about them really?
Yeah.
Because they are the most. I mean, she's a very beautiful girl.
Veronica Ricci's hot. I
Yeah,
mean, she's
she's
got great body. Her boobs
gorgeous.
are nice. They're not fake.
Yeah,
They're-
gorgeous gal. But it's so if they don't use it right, it's pointless.
And they don't help the movie. Yeah, it's like
They don't
I mean,
move the story. They don't do any. It does these poor boobies are so nice, and they don't do anything for me. It's
Right.
such a sad thing to say.
yeah, it is. So moving on to trivia again, really nothing. The only thing of information I have, and I actually did try to contact like I did with Scare Zone, who, but those people were actually nice enough to respond. I did try to contact the people in this movie. I got nothing. Never heard back. But Ribcage was written and performed by the actor Derek Jamerson in the movie.
Written and performed.
Yeah, so
Ooh.
that's his own piece. And surprisingly, because like you said, you have a clip to put up, which we'll put up. I like just like Fruit of My Belly and a few other things. I was like, can I get the music video for this to put up?
And yes,
I found the clip from this movie, but to make it even worse and more mind blowing, there is an actual official music video for Ribcage that is like his own thing. It has nothing to do with the movie. There's a separate, like it's not the Matt Elias Ribcage from the movie. It's Derek Jamerson's version of Ribcage. It's the exact same fucking song, just the music video is different, and it's set in a boxing gym. And so,
whoa.
Yeah.
So it's completely different music video.
yeah, it's like
Wow.
and like they made a music video for it's like an MTV type music video for this shitty ass song.
Oh, we got to put that up.
And then they for the movie they made like an in movie version that's awful. So
If you feel like stabbing yourself in the ear, play
yeah,
this.
I should challenge everybody. I'm gonna put the one up from the movie because that's just fucking awful. And if you can make it through that video, kudos to you.
Yeah.
So speaking of the music video, I just want to throw this out there, and I'm not expecting anybody to do it, but I want to see if anybody has the time or the courage to do this just for fun, because we're talking about shitty music videos. If anybody out there wants to really do something creative, if you can take Ribcage, if you get the music from that and make your own music video for Ribcage, send it to us through our either Facebook or send it to us on our website, and I will post them on our website and on our Facebook page, and maybe the best one or something will send you a T-shirt or something. So for any, if you actually want to make your own version of the Ribcage music video and send it in to us, that would be awesome.
So our first challenge to
Well, two challenges. One, sit through the actual music video used in the movie, challenge 1. And challenge 2, if you make your own Ribcage music video and send it in to us.
Good God.
And we'll have some fun with that.
I'm not going to be surprised if we get 0.
I won't be
because-
surprised either, but I
Yeah,
just want, if we don't, we don't. If we do.
Well, we're also
awesome.
blowing up this week. We officially have over 250 likes.
All right, moving on. Now we would do the budget game here, but unfortunately, I could not come up with the budget information because the people would not get back to me. So there's no budget game this week, which just brings us straight to yeah, failure. Brings us to
Now that's bad. When a movie that we can't get is so bad, we can't even get a budget on it.
yeah.
You know, that just tells you how low it must have been, and probably all the money went to Ron Jeremy.
Again, probably, or fucking Mary Worth's outfits because she had so many goddamn outfits.
Oh
in
my
this
God.
movie. The wardrobe. All right, so let's move on to 5-star reviews.
These special movies have a place in these special people's hearts. 5-star reviews.
Now, surprisingly, there were 5-star reviews of this movie.
Of course.
Not many, but there were. So let's start with Film Guide.
Oh wow, there's actually someone by the name of Film Guy.
Film Guide.
We need to get a hold of Film Guy
Oh, after this review, you
because
might
I'm going
need
to punch him in the face.
Yes. Love the movie. Not as good as I hoped. But plot was simple but fun to watch play out. Great opening lesbian sex scene. Could have been done better, but still provoking. 5 stars.
So basically, he just likes seeing girls do it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other places there, Film Guy, to watch that. Okay.
And John Williams, which this one's going to, I apologize, follow me because this is going to be hard to read word for word because it's awful. Okay, here we go. Best song and best Bloody Mary film made. I have bought on DVD. I like the Ghost Story movie and best looking actor. I would like see her in person. I live at lot 45 Vinton West End of the Dyke Road. Love the movie actor, very misspelled. Hot looking lady. 5 stars.
Where is this guy from?
Who
Did he just come
knows?
off the boat?
That's what it sounds like.
It's like he's a cab driver that I had last week. There's a good-looking lady. I like her. Pretty. Live on the road.
Yeah.
Good.
I won't see you. Like, he's a fucking. I want to meet you in person. I live here. Come to my address. Wow.
What a dick.
Yeah. 5 stars though. Now, just for like I said, I found one. I went 1 star lower. Found a 4-star review from Joseph McGinnis. Really good, actually. Reminds me of sexier version of Trauma. The chick is hot too, and that's in all bolds and caps. So 4 stars from.
That's a 4-star?
That's a 4-star.
So basically, he's giving 4 stars to the penthouse,
The Veronica Ricci.
who is very attractive.
She's
Yes.
attractive.
Yeah, she's hot. So
Yeah, great body. Yeah.
And 4 stars for her body.
Yep.
You couldn't even, if you're going to base it on that, give her 5 because she's a knockout. But,
Yeah.
whoa, yeesh.
So that's holy shit. All right, we know the answers, but just we guys stick with it. Aaron, so bad it's good, so bad it's scary.
I am not nearly drunk enough to give it a so bad it's good. It is so bad it's scary. It is awful. Do not waste your time. It's for free on YouTube. Wow,
Yeah.
you might think to yourself, well, I can waste a little bit of time. Don't. Scratching your belly button will be a better use of time than watching this movie. It is awful. I feel dumber for watching it.
Yeah, I agree. Some of these movies I want to be able to recommend because I do love these independent, low budget horror movies. But this one, yeah, totally pass on it. You know what? Maybe I would have had a little nicer things to say if the people I sent an email to would have actually responded.
Ooh, Marshall.
Assholes.
He's taking it personal.
Yeah, but no, regardless, yeah, the girls are hot. Well, Veronica Ricci's hot. So a lot of boobs and naked, but yeah, it doesn't make the movie worth watching.
No.
It fails on all fronts. Just like you said, Aaron said really well. Your time is spent better doing anything else.
Anything.
Go
Like
get a class, enema, or go have I don't know,
Why would you get an enema?
I don't know, but it's a better use of your time than watching this movie.
You think you're going colonoscopy?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, well,
That's for health reasons. Anyway,
anyway.
kick a can down the road for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
You're going to have a better time than watching this
Yeah.
film.
All right. Enough said about this.
And I'm not, I need to go and just scrub.
I think we're going to go drink
Yes.
ourselves stupid
Yes.
for after this movie. After this movie. So, all right, we're done. Remember, follow us on Facebook. Check out our website, horriblehorrorpodcast.com. That's where you can submit your ribcage music videos if you'd like to.
Yeah, if you got it. You got the time and the patience and the stomach.
Do follow us on Twitter at So Bad It's Scary. We're on Podbean, and check us out for free. Download us and subscribe to us on iTunes as well.
And again, really quick, if anybody's listening still, please go to GoFundMe /Go Elizabeth, our friend Marie Merrick. See if we can raise a little bit of money for her. She's got brain cancer. Just a little shout out there.
That's going to do it for us. We will be back later. See you down the road. Peace out.
Adios.